Hi! So, no, this isn't gonna be a political post. This is just one of those. Just been thinking about a couple things. One of them is what makes me happy. Let me tell you what makes me happy. These two guys, Bern and Kelly. Bern and Kelly are part of Celtic Thunder. Celtic music makes me happy, but that's not really a Celtic album, but it is Irish. Because they're Irish, so there's some Irish folk songs that they sing, and I love it. Yes, there is Irish in my blood, just so you're aware. Teaching makes me happy. I have the opportunity on Thursdays, if you don't know this, to teach at a homeschool down at Glasgow Church. It's called Glasgow Christian Academy, and this year is for the first time part of the Glasgow family of schools, which is Glasgow Christian Academy, Red Lion Christian Academy, and Tall Oaks Christian School, or Academy. Forgive me, it's one of those. I have a lot of fun teaching on Thursdays. It's GCA is the homeschoolers. I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but the homeschool co-op. Anyway, I get to teach U.S. history and World Civ. World Civ is harder for me to teach because if it didn't happen here, I don't care. I know that's a terrible thing to say as a history teacher, but this curriculum that we're using this year is a lot more fun. It's a lot more interaction, a lot more discussion. So I like it a lot. Just been kind of, I don't want to say, I guess it is a burden. The last couple of weeks, after sharing my testimony a couple of videos back, some things have come up as far as friends of mine. I feel like an idiot. Brian Till, I'm sorry, I haven't called you yet. I'm going to. I promise. Life gets in the way of calling people you haven't talked to in 25 years. I'm old. Anyway, you know my testimony. You know that I was a former youth pastor. You know that I screwed up. I have come back to the Lord, and the journey has just been kind of interesting. And many of you know that I've been praying about how the Lord can use me still. One of those is a project that I'm working on, along with a few others that I've recently had some really good conversations with about the project. A couple of other things I need to iron out, things I'm praying about. How to include people that I love. How not to include others that I love. There you go. I'm again probably being too honest. But you know, I've gotten this burden for pastors and youth pastors that have pretty much or are in the middle of doing some things that they shouldn't be doing. Some seeking restoration, some trying to fix their marriages, some that are back but struggle. When is the last time you took the time to literally take some time to pray for your pastor? When is the last time you took the time to pray for your youth pastor? Man, being a youth pastor it's harder probably today than it's probably ever been. Being a pastor today is probably harder now than it's ever been. This month is October, it is Pastor Appreciation Month, and I'm not bragging on this, but I sent our pastor an email the other day just thanking him and telling him how much I appreciated it. I told him in the email, though, that it's stupid that we should be appreciating our pastors pretty much all year round, but October is the only month for Pastor Appreciation Month, so here I am. The pastor of our church having to deal with close to 5,000 people, close to that. I am not sure how many members are at our church. But having 2 services, having to deal with what this person doesn't like, what that person doesn't like. When are you going to change the music? When are you going to update the music? When are you going to start singing more hymns? Now, our pastoral staff is huge, but our preaching pastor is the one that I'm mainly thinking of. He has to deal with everybody. You know, my dad used to say as a pastor, you can please some of the people some of the time, but you can't please all the people all the time. And as long as there's people, there's always going to be problems. So no matter what you do, you're going to upset somebody. And so being a pastor's kid, I can understand what pastors go through. Being a former youth pastor, boy, I'll tell you what. Some of the older folks in our churches look at our youth pastors as nut jobs. They're millennials. They're act like morons. How else do you relate with kids? I'm just saying. When is the last time you prayed for them? When is the last time you literally took some time aside and prayed for them? Because I'm going to tell you what. There's a lot of pressure on pastors. There's a lot of pressure on youth pastors. Not only having to deal with our flocks or their flocks. That would be young people as well. But having to be the leader in their homes as well. Because being a leader being a pastor, a shepherd of a flock at church, man, I'm going to tell you, it's a pain in the neck. We're a pain in the neck. But they have to lead at home too. And the pressure of doing both and the pressure of balancing both can lead you to do some really wise things, but can lead you to really do stupid things as well. We forget that our pastors, we just put them on these pedestals, and our youth pastors as well, and we just don't think that there needs to be any accountability for them. Let me tell you, today there is so much going on out there, and I'm talking about online, phone calls, texting. Pastors need to be protected. We need to be praying for our pastors in a way that in history we've never probably had to deal with it before. And right now, you know, I think about a couple of guys that are really on my heart this week, and God knows who they are. It doesn't matter. But I'm asking you, and I'm challenging you. I love to do these challenges because it makes me think and process as well. Are we lifting up our youth pastors? Are we lifting up our pastors? Because a lot of things can lead them to do things that are not of God. I'm one of them. But I don't blame anybody else for what I did other than myself. In my relationship with God, I allowed it to go away and I allowed it to drift. So I challenge you today, take the time to pray for your pastor, to pray for your youth pastor, because there is so much out there to distract them. And it's the devil. I mean, it really is. It's Satan. Satan is one that loves to attack on, and he's going to know what your weaknesses are. Pastors and youth pastors, I'm not dismissing you. He knows what your weaknesses are, and he's going to go after them. But I'm burdened because I feel like we just assume that marriages are always going to be there, that our pastors and youth pastors are just going to always be the example that they need to be for us. What are you doing to help them? What are you doing to pray for them? What are you doing to encourage them? Are you taking them out? Are you talking to them and say, hey, how can I pray for you? So I challenge you with that. This one's a little bit short. Maybe not. It's 10 minutes already. But pray. But in the meantime, pray for each other. Because we need it. I know I need it. If you saw my post earlier, you know I do. So, God bless you. I love you. Have a good day. Talk to you soon.